Caitlin Clark has done for the women's NBA what Michael Jordan once did for the NBA.
They were very different in nature. Angel Reese definitely didn't take much ownership.
I believe that every player in this league deserves to be treated with respect and want to come to work and just have fun and have a great environment to work at. So
Angel Reese is suing Caitlin Clark, and it all kicked off after Angel apparently lost some huge sponsorship deals. Angel basically went from being Bayou Barbie to courtroom Barbie, trading in her time on the court for a pile of legal papers aimed right at Caitlin. Suddenly, sponsors just disappeared overnight. Angel's left there kind of fighting ghosts, while Caitlin is still out here breaking records and making money. The tough truth is, Angel's in court looking for sympathy, but Caitlin's still cashing in big time on the court. Yeah, she really made a statement. Angel Reese is suing Caitlin Clark. You heard that right. This lawsuit feels less like your typical sports drama and way more like a battle over money, branding, and maybe even some betrayal. This isn't even about who's better at basketball. It's about millions of dollars that just vanished overnight and a spotlight that totally shifted, leaving one player behind in the dust. Man, Angel Reese fans are probably fuming right now. Her fans absolutely blew up the moment this news dropped. Twitter was flooded with accusations of foul play, hidden agendas, and double standards. For them, this isn't just a legal battle, it's like payback for months and months of disrespect. What is even happening with the WNBA?
WNBA got the guts to fine and or suspend Angel Reese for playing along with this whole thing?
Because let's be real, this lawsuit didn't just come out of nowhere. It's really the big climax of a super messy situation. You had those sponsorship deals collapsing, then Ice Cube's Big 3 rejection of Angel went viral, and of course Caitlin Clark was just dominating every single headline in women's basketball.
Ice Cube, because Ice Cube has come out and given everybody some brutal truth, and there is a portion of this that just tells you everything that we've been.
And that whole Big 3 deal, that's really where all the drama started brewing. Ice Cube pulled off one of the boldest moves we've seen in sports business history. He publicly offered Caitlin Clark $5 million to join his league. $5 million! Think about that for a second. That's more money than most WNBA veterans will make in their entire careers.
And what's hilarious is, this is confirmation from the people that want to pay the money.
So naturally, the internet went absolutely wild, and Caitlin was instantly seen as the league's undeniable cash cow. Her ratings, attendance numbers, jersey sales, everything just exploded. She wasn't just playing the game anymore, she was completely flipping the business model of the sport itself on its head. It was insane.
TMZ Sports caught up with Ice Cube himself at LAX this week. And the Big 3 honcho said that there will be no deal put in front of Angel Reese anytime soon. Woo! What's that sound I hear?
Then, get this. The TMZ cameras ambushed Ice Cube at LAX. Reporters cornered him with the $1 million question, would Angel Reese get a similar deal? His answer wasn't just a no, it was a flat-out rejection. No hesitation, no trying to spin it, absolutely no mercy. Cube pretty much said it himself. We're in business to make money. Clark brings the numbers, Angel doesn't. That kind of honesty cut way deeper than any trash talk from a rival. He didn't even bother to sugarcoat it for a second. And just like that, the whole dynamic between Clark and Reese stopped being a rivalry and became purely a business decision.
Caitlin Clark comes in and is immediately the biggest star in the league. Immediately. And merchandising in every other way.
For Angel, that wasn't just a simple snub, it was a total public humiliation. In the eyes of sponsors, she went from being a rising star to basically a sideline spectator. And honestly, this is where the lawsuit starts to make a lot of sense. Reese isn't just fighting Caitlin Clark in court, she's really fighting to reclaim her brand, her relevance, and those millions she feels were just taken right out from under her.
I think the WNBA, our team and our organization has done a great job supporting me. I've had communication from everyone, from so many people across this league, and being able to support me and going through this whole process. Obviously, it could happen to me, it could happen to anyone, and I think they've done a great job supporting us.
See, Angel wasn't always the one getting overlooked. She built her whole image on pure swagger. You know, the lashes, the nails, those viral taunts, and that Bayou Barbie nickname. It was more than just a persona, it was a whole brand. Back in college, she was the golden girl of NCAA hoops. She had her huge moment, waving that "you can't see me" taunt, and it went viral overnight. Fans were lining up for her, endorsement deals were rolling in, and for a while it really looked like she was untouchable.
Apparently, there's some jealousy that might be manifesting itself into physical, inappropriate conduct.
But her transition to the WNBA? Brutal. Suddenly, the hype she had didn't quite match her stat line. Her play was inconsistent, and honestly, the headlines started focusing more on her Instagram and TikTok than on what she was actually doing in games. And the big problem? Brands noticed. When the whisper started, they weren't about her potential anymore. They were about risk. Executives started asking that tough question, is Angel bringing more drama than actual deliverables?
So you know the basketball superstar Caitlin Clark. She is in the Women's National Basketball Association. Big star, huge star, brilliant player. Okay, she's on the Indiana team.
Taking the high road or trying to say the right things in these interviews, she doesn't. Whether she's saying what's on her mind or not, it doesn't always come across as likable. It doesn't come across as something relatable. It comes across as she is trying to also get that same spotlight, that same notoriety as Caitlin Clark.
And that's the real red flag, because in sports business, how you're perceived is absolutely everything. Angel definitely brought energy, fire, and a whole lot of attitude, but sponsors don't invest in chaos. They want stability, and once Ice Cube made it crystal clear that Caitlin Clark was the guaranteed return on investment, well, the writing was on the wall. Clark was the one turning those regular Tuesday night games into sellouts. Clark was the one boosting jersey sales by over 1,000%. Clark was the one bringing 15,000 fans into arenas every single night.
So like I said, they understand that this is the priority. Obviously, there's no place for this, and they preach. I think 2 days before they put out no hate, no speech.
Meanwhile, Angel was busy battling all these narratives she just couldn't control. There were rumors flying around about overpriced sneakers. She was getting criticized for her on-court taunts, and all those social media beefs. They might have played great on Twitter, but they didn't exactly impress Fortune 500 companies. She wanted to be the brand, but Caitlin already was the brand.
You got people that are resentful towards her, but it's really not about her, guys. It's about what she represents.
And that's why this lawsuit hits so incredibly hard. It's not really about Caitlin Clark personally, not at all. It's about the whole system that put Clark right in the spotlight and left Angel in the shadows. It's about millions in sponsorship dollars that basically vanished the second Ice Cube said no. And ultimately, it's about one player trying to fight back against a huge machine that decided she was no longer the safe bet for their money.
Quote, I don't know if we can make that same offer.
For Angel, honestly, the courtroom is just another arena, but this time, the stakes aren't just points on a scoreboard. They're the entire future of her career, and whether you think she's misunderstood, maybe overestimated, or just simply outplayed, one thing is absolutely clear. The game she's fighting right now isn't basketball, it's business. And right now, the business side of things hasn't exactly been kind to her.
And we have grown-ass men and women out here doing whatever they can to try to make sure that does not happen. That is the weirdest thing in the world, but it is what it is, and I'm glad that Caitlin has a great head on her shoulders.
The cracks in Angel Reese's whole Bayou Barbie empire showed up super fast. 1 minute she was the face of it all, the lashes, the nails, the attitude, and the next, sponsors just started ghosting her like a really bad Tinder date. That skincare promo? Gone. That flashy drink collaboration? Vanished.
It's just the dollars and cents wouldn't line up.
And remember that random crypto deal that was supposed to be the future? Yeah, it just evaporated like it never even existed. One by one, all those bags that once had her name on them just started slipping away, and the silence from those big brands, it was way louder than any trash talk you'd hear on the court.
Sponsors, assured him Clark coming to his organization would rake in cash hand over fist. But, quote, they didn't tell us the same thing about Angel Reese.
Then came the whole sneaker fiasco. Word started spreading that Angel had pitched a Reebok shoe at a totally luxury level price. We're talking $1,000 for a pair of kicks. $1,000! The rumor was that Reebok literally laughed her right out of the meeting. She denied it, of course. But here's the thing. In branding, perception is absolutely everything. And once people start to believe you're out of touch, that damage just sticks around. In sponsorship land, perception is basically currency. And once that's gone, so is the money.
Okay, because she's brilliant. Right? That's why she's wreaking havoc. Because she is so good.
That's where the contrast between them just gets brutal. Caitlin Clark is out here stacking national commercials, showing up in ads with this perfectly polished PR-proof image. Meanwhile, Angel gets labeled as a risky investment with way too much volatility. One looks like a CEO in sneakers, ready for a board meeting. The other looks like she's still auditioning for a brand deal that just never calls back. And in business, that difference is everything.
The girl is spectacular. It's not like she's not a scrub. She's not only can play, she's a star caliber player who draws this attention. And maybe it's because that fan base that she has and her being a young white lady contributes to it. So what?
Now let's talk about Caitlin, because this isn't just some she's popular moment. Clark is literally printing money with every single step she takes. Just look at the numbers. When Caitlin Clark plays, attendance jumps by 105%. Not 10, not 20, 105. WNBA crowds are suddenly averaging over 15,000 fans when she's on the floor, which is like NBA G League attendance levels, just completely flipped upside down. Her jersey sales up over 1,093%. Yes, you heard that right, 1,093%. That's not just growth, that's a full-blown explosion. And it doesn't even stop there. League Pass subscriptions, they tripled the second she joined the league. And social media, Clark clocked in 800 million views in just 90 days. That's more than the NBA, more than the NFL. One rookie just completely flipped the entire women's basketball business model in under a year. She doesn't just hype the WNBA, she is the...
I'm not sure anything's been more evidence to what we've been saying.
Ice Cube spelled it out for everyone with zero hesitation. Caitlin sells out arenas. Angel, on the other hand, sells out Instagram for maybe 24 hours. And if you're a sponsor trying to decide where to put your millions, that's not even a hard choice to make. Clark is the sure thing. She's money in the bank.
Ice Cube's literally saying, we sat down, looked at the actual figures, and the draw wasn't there. The fever wasn't there. Oh, no pun intended. Angel Reese was not going to be able to bring in the amount of eyes for the sponsors and
that brings us right back to this lawsuit. Angel's claim isn't just about her losing out on deals. She's framing it as unfair treatment, a clear case of double standards and her sponsorship value being stolen right out from under her. Her camp is arguing that black women athletes are basically penalized for having the exact same swagger that white stars are celebrated for. Caitlin taunts. Oh, that's just competitiveness. Angel taunts. Suddenly, it's drama. And that's exactly where this lawsuit finds its real teeth. It's not about the scoreboard at all. It's about the optics of the situation.
Wow, I'm not sure any other single, outside of just the pure numbers that we keep showing people, literal numbers.
Her fans are seriously riding hard for her right now. There are Twitter threads, TikTok debates, hashtags flying everywhere, and the message is always the same. This isn't business, this is bias. They're screaming racism, sexism, favoritism. They say Reese was totally snubbed because she leaned into the drama, while Clark just leaned into America's comfort zone.
What should have been a massive, huge day for your sponsors and for your networks is going to be anything but that.
But here's the ugly counterpoint. Unfortunately, sponsors don't operate on feelings. They operate on numbers. Angel wasn't outplayed on the court, she was outvalued in the boardroom. And when it comes to corporate America, that's the only stat line that truly matters. So yeah, the lawsuit is messy, no doubt, but beneath all those headlines, it's really a clash between two different stories. One is about perception, and the other is about profit. Angel Reese is fighting to prove her worth after all those sponsors walked out. Caitlin Clark, though, she doesn't have to fight at all. The numbers are already fighting for her, and that's the big difference here.
Ice Cube, just being a smart businessman, a certain demographic won't be too happy with him being honest.
Alright, let's dive right into this like it's the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left and no timeouts. We're talking about Ice Cube's absolutely ruthless business logic, Angel Reese's complicated fall from grace, and the undeniable fact that Caitlin Clark has basically rewritten the WNBA rulebook without even asking permission. Grab a seat, because this ride is as cold-blooded as it gets. Here's the thing about Ice Cube, the man made a whole career out of controversy. He thrived on beef, on battles, and on being the guy who never sugarcoated a single word. But when it came to Angel Reese, even Cube apparently put the pen down. His reasoning was so blunt it could have literally been a diss track. He basically said Caitlin offers guaranteed return on investment, but for Angel, it's just too risky.
It's easy to kind of ride behind Caitlin in a sense because she is saying the right thing. She's playing well on the court and she's also saying the right thing.
Right? Look, if you're a sponsor, Caitlin Clark is out here printing money in her sleep. Angel Reese, on the other hand, is a total gamble. It's kind of like buying crypto at 3 in the morning after 3 Red Bulls. You might double your money, but let's be real, you are way more likely to wake up completely broke.
You know? Yeah, she's a great player. You know, the thing with Caitlin Clark, it was just to unlock millions of dollars for the league because of her stardom.
And here's the part that just really stings. Cube actually admitted that the Big 3 League never even considered Angel as a backup plan if Caitlin had said no. Zero. Nada. Nothing. They just kind of shrugged, moved on, and said, we'll just wait for Clark. That's not just your run-of-the-mill rejection. That's like, we'd rather just go home alone than even take your number kind of rejection. But don't mistake this for some personal beef. Cube laid it out crystal clear. Money doesn't care about good vibes. It cares about results. And that, my friend, is the painful truth. In sports, in business, in life, vibes don't pay the bills. Numbers do.
Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. By the way, this person brings up Chloe Bibby. Yeah.
Here's where it gets complicated. Angel Reese isn't some cartoon villain twirling a mustache, okay? She's a 22-year-old dealing with stuff most of us couldn't even begin to imagine. We're talking death threats, sexualization, online bullying, and constantly being told to shut up whenever she speaks her mind. That is heavy. And when you hear Angel actually open up about it, you really see that emotional contrast. She's vulnerable, she's raw, and she's just human. But while she's pouring her heart out like that, brands are cutting ties with her like she's just some bad stock. The cold, hard silence of corporate America simply does not care about tears.
And obviously the women in this league, they know that and know there's no space for that. And I believe that every player in this league deserves to be treated with respect.
So, Angel pivots, you see the caption shift on her social media. Suddenly, it's all about growth, building community, and just humble vibes. She's really leaning into this rebrand, trying to show everyone that she's more than just clapbacks and chaos. But here's the kicker, receipts don't just vanish into thin air. Sponsors can still Google her name and see that old highlight reel. All the taunts, all the drama, those fiery moments that once went viral, well, now they just look like huge liabilities.